former presidential candidate of the Zenith Labour Party, Nwanyanwu. Well, he joins us now to discuss the outcome of the National Assembly leadership race, what type of legislature to expect given the role the presidency has played in the emergence of Senator Akpabio as Senate President, and Tajuddin Abbas as the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Thank you for joining us on Newsday Today. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So as everything has just concluded, are you in any way surprised by the outcome of the race yesterday for the National Assembly, and also your opinions on APC's Akpabio winning Senate House President?
Well, not surprised at all. It went as expected, coupled with the manner the campaign went and the leadership of the party getting involved and the government getting involved. I think it goes to show that some of us who have been calling for party supremacy have been vindicated. The party must be supreme at all times. And persons who elected to get to office through a political party should not be seen or should not act in a manner that they are independent candidates. No leader of a political party would take that. At least I have been around for some time, and I'm lucky to be talking to you as the oldest national chairman of political parties. All the political parties, I have been here around, and the experience has taught me that you must recognize and respect and honor the vehicle that took you to your journey. When certain persons were acting as if they got to the Senate and House of Representatives as independent candidates, I saw some of the senators, some came to me, particularly the new ones. I told them, look, go and listen to your party. I'm not in your party, but you must obey your party. Party supremacy is it. You must be loyal, totally loyal to your party. You must submit to your party. You have elected the leadership of the party, which suggests that you have confidence in the leadership of the party and that they should do no wrong. You have elected a president from your party who has also given a nod to certain sets of candidates. The candidates, as at that time, who later emerged, are not persons without pedigree. Akpabio is well known all over the country. He did well, marvelously well as governor in Akwa Ibom, where he was referred to as uncommon governor because he did uncommon things that turned out to be in the interest of the people. Abbas is an experienced legislator and highly educated, experienced, and humble. So when the party chose such persons to lead the two houses, all you should have done as somebody who was not favored was to face another day. You don't have to confront the party. I think it is too early to confront the leadership of the party. It is also too early to challenge the authority of the president. Party supremacy means loyalty to the party. Party supremacy means believing in the actions of the party. Party supremacy means following the ideas and the runnings of the party, even when it is uncomfortable for you to do so. That shows that you are a good party man. That shows that you respect the party. So what has emerged from the exercise is as expected. We have gotten men of knowledge, men of experience, in the person of Senator Akpabio and Abbas, PhD, to man the two houses, with Akpabio being the head of the National Assembly. Nigerians should expect more robust discussions in the two houses and more robust interrogation of issues. We are comfortable, my party and most political parties I've interacted since yesterday, are comfortable with the emergence of Akpabio and Abbas, and we expect more from that leadership. But I must not fail to mention those who drove the process. My governor drove the process. As the chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum, Hope Uzodinma, he did well. He has been a go-getter. Since we have had him in my state, we have had a lot of things that never came. So when he was given that assignment, I told people around me he will succeed. And thank God, congratulations that they succeeded.
Very good, Mr. Nwanyanwu. You talked about the party supremacy and, of course, its importance during the electioneering process and the leadership race. But what's the impact on the independence of the 10th Assembly itself, especially when it has to tackle the executive every now and then to curb excesses, as it were?
Independence of the judiciary, independence of the legislator doesn't mean you should disobey your party. You see, somebody was telling me when I met some of the legislators before the election, they said, but Chairman, we should be allowed to vote. I said, yes, you will vote. You'll be given a card to go and vote, or you vote by show of hands. You have expressed your independence. But you cannot, as a member of a party who just a few months ago rode on the vehicle of the party, decide to be disobedient. Parties, good leadership of parties do not reward bad behavior. If you have singled yourself out, there are consequences if you disobey. One, the first one is that you have been marked. They will follow you, irrespective of what you have done before. You decided to go down from the vehicle when you got to your journey. No problem. The vehicle will reverse and go back. But I don't know how you will come back after that period. Independence of legislator means as they have now elected their officers to run the place, you will now take decisions and vote on issues as it will affect Nigeria. If there are issues that are not in tandem with the position of the party, this can be handled under the caucus. But I think nobody in the current National Assembly will not see himself as coming to do something better than what he has met. We have passed through a lot in the past 8 years. We have seen a lot as a country. Hunger has increased. And I think the current leadership will be addressing it. How will they address it? They are going to address it because the man that is president has been part and parcel of the struggle. I recall in 1983, when I met him for the first time in Chief Abiola's house, he was very consistent, the most consistent in that struggle. He followed him all over the place. And he must have learned, or he must have drank from the same cup. So when Chief Abiola was saying that he will banish poverty and that no child will go to bed without food, I think Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as he then was, now president, must have heard him very clearly and he must have listened to him. So when you see some of these things being churned out now, like education, like that, he's going to come out with more because he passed through that school of common good, school of serving the people, school of better society, school of doing things for everybody to enjoy. When Chief Abiola said that Nigeria should be turned into a place flowing with milk and honey, I am sure Senator Ahmed Bello Tinubu, as he was then, listening to him, now president, he cannot go away from that. So you can see a few decisions that have been taken. Nigerians are saying, wait a minute. So independence of the legislator has nothing to do with going at variance with the policies, programs, mission, and vision of your political party. You must fall in line. That is the loyalty to the party, even when it is uncomfortable for you to do so.
We surely can't wait for the time when Nigeria flows with milk and honey. But seeing as they hit the ground running in the executive with the legislative, what agenda do you think should be on their minds? Should it be state police as a solution for insecurity? We do know that has been a very hot button issue. Restructuring, that also came up quite a lot last year for resource control for individual states to stop relying on federal allocations and start to make money for themselves. What exactly should they be focusing their attention on since the iron is hot and the executive is striking?
Yes, I think the president has started doing something that Nigerians expected him to do. He has done something about education. I read this afternoon, and I smiled. He has already called for investigation into the boat mishap in Kwara. My sympathies to the families of those that bereaved. That is how a president should act. He has shown sympathy and empathy. He has directed the Kwara state government and the security agencies and the appropriate authorities to go and find out why we are losing close to 100 people within a minute in a boat mishap. That is the way to go. We are talking about insecurity. I have also taken position since he was elected to look at all his past comments as it relates to security, as it relates to restructuring, as it relates to generating enough funds. I'm sure these are the things that he will have to address. I don't want us to put unnecessary pressure because there are a lot to be done. Let us not put unnecessary pressure. It's step by step. And what he has done so far has been acknowledged by most Nigerians. Of course, he will address the issue of security. He must smoke these idiots out of wherever they are so that we can have peace, so that Nigerians will get back to their homes, so that farmers will go back to their farms. The president must smoke them out, no matter where they are, no matter who is involved, no matter who is sponsoring them. We are talking about creating the environment for business to thrive. We are talking about generating more revenue. These are some of his comments in the past. And I'm sure he may be looking at them one after the other to see how he will start. And that's why I cautioned. Rome was not and will never be built in a day. So we must not put that pressure so that we start stumbling. These are things, he is a person of his words. And from the records we have seen, he doesn't forget. And I think he must keep to his words. Let us take it. Now that we have addressed education, let the accessibility be very positive. Now we have to go into security. They are still rampaging. They are still killing people. In Plateau, in some other places, in Zamfara, we must have to get the army to do their work. This army, Nigerian army, has the capacity. I have said so before in your station. They have the capacity to clean this mess. The issue is whether the directive has been given, which was not given before. I know this president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will give that appropriate order so that they can clear this. If you have achieved a lot of successes in Liberia, in Sierra Leone, that the terrain is not clear to you, then why can't you deal with it? I have always said it. This Nigerian army can do so. So these are some of the areas that we expect to get people out of the IDP camps. They must go home to their land. They have to go home. Let the farmers go back. I've said that before for fear of not being repetitive. So there are some of these issues. Restructuring. Restructuring doesn't mean we have to divide Nigeria. States must look at their competitive advantage and start working. They should not rely on coming here to share money. They should not rely on coming here to share money. When the president was governor in Lagos, you saw what he did with revenue. The revenue went up. Lagos became the richest and still the richest. As one company will say, good thinking, good product. So if he has the best hands around him, best economists, those who are going to get things done and without looking at who it will affect. And we must also do away with monopoly. Once certain things are done at the right time by different people, prices will go down. Elementary economics. We don't have to tighten a situation whereby an NPC will be importing petrol. No, open it up. If you can import, go and bring it. Depending on your route, if your own was not caught by demurrage due to inefficiency, you will sell less. But if the one imported by an NPC, as they are calculating the price, they have already calculated their inefficiency in the form of demurrage. That is part of what we are paying. But I'm of the view that what the solution is, the president has to look at how to ameliorate, how to solve the problem Nigerians are facing now. I salute his timeous intervention with Nigerian Labour Congress and TUC to avoid what probably could have turned into another thing. But how do we get Nigerians cushion? How do we cushion the effect of this subsidy? Nobody is saying that don't remove subsidy. That one has gone. Even the common man on the street will say, yes, remove it. Big men are chopping the money. But how does it affect us? So you can see there is a consensus addendum on removal of subsidy. So let him work. Let the president put his thinking cap. Get the experts. How do we solve this problem? Transportation. How do we solve this problem? Food stuff in the market. How do we solve this problem? This is something that can be fixed. And gradually, prices will be coming down and Nigerians will be happy for it.
Indeed, Mr. Nwanyanwu, interesting perspective on those issues, as it were. Now, let's delve into the role zoning played in the leadership tussle. How significant is that as a yardstick for future leadership elections, the House of Assembly, you think?
You see, every political party has its own system, its own mechanism. And the reason why you have zoning in a system was to make sure that you give every part of Nigeria a sense of belonging. Before the presidential election, which I contested, I made it clear that the power should go to the South. Hitherto, I didn't believe in all these things. But in the past 8 years, the thing has gotten down to Nigerians that they are now very conscious, extremely conscious of such things. It will take us some time to leave it. So the issue of zoning is to make sure that every part of Nigeria is carried along. You don't do things to give the erroneous impression that these are the people, these are the owners of Nigeria, they have to do it this particular way. And that's why I saluted at that time the APC Northern governors who came together and said, look, a lot of injustice will be done. Move this to the South. Let the South have their own. After 8 years of certain presidency, it will go back to the North. Maybe with time, by certain interventions, God will create a situation where we no longer look at where you are from before you get a position. But the thing has been pushed to its apogee, its highest, in the past 8 years, where we unconsciously, where we didn't look at the demography of Nigeria. You just make appointments. It's just the same persons. Everything the same persons. Nigerians will be looking. Even some persons from the area that benefited these things at times told some of us who are their friends that they are thoroughly embarrassed. How do you do that in a society like Nigeria? How? And now we are seeing all the inefficiencies that are coming out. Put the round peg in the round hole, the square peg in the square hole. There is no part of Nigeria today. If you want the best, you can get it from there. Don't go and bring mediocres who are interested in their pockets. You can get the best from any tribe in Nigeria today. And this is the society we are talking about. This is the society we are looking at. That is the society the young people are expecting you to give them. And that's why they reacted the same way, the way they reacted. I entered boat the other day. The guy that drove me has a master's degree in mechanical engineering. The other guy has a master's degree in accountancy. He has his ICANN. They're driving boats. Such things don't happen in a sane society. It is the action and inaction of government that drive these people to that process. What can I do? I cannot steal. Let me make a living. If you doubt what I'm saying, you will meet them along the way. So that is, we have the manpower here. If you need the best, you get the best. But if you want people based on where they come from or their faith, you will also get them. Garbage in, garbage out. Inefficiency, unproductiveness everywhere. That is what we are having. But I think going by the president, by his antecedents and what he stood for, I think he will go for the best. He will look for persons that will help him on the economy, persons that will help him bridge this gap between the parallel market and the official rate. Get people to help him for the banks and central bank to do proper banking. I worked in the bank for 13 years. Before I left, to study law. All we see banks do now was not part of what we are told in Barclays Bank and Union Bank. We are what? We are told that central bank is bankers' bank. Today, central bank is not longer bankers' bank. It is individuals' bank. It is friends' bank. It is relatives' bank. It is people in government bank, because they have put their hands into so many things that they have no business doing. That is why the economy is like this. We must fashion the institutions. Let the institutions be as they are supposed to be. So that whether you are there or not, everything must be in place. You don't come and introduce things because you don't want to, you behave like a jellyfish, go and do it. Why is it that people don't want to resign? If you are asked to do something you know that is against the law, you say, sorry, I can't do this, sir. Would you want me to leave? You resign and go, especially when you're a professional. You don't do things that when you leave office, Nigerians will start cursing you. If an evil happens to you, Nigerians will jubilate. This President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, should look for the best that will help him clean the audience table.
Well, Dan Nwanyanwu, my fellow Howard University graduate and Zenith Labor Party member, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon and for this discussion.